Now, on the board, we have two sentences, and these are the two kinds of relative clauses. So the first example says, my sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. And the second one says, my sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. Now you see that the only difference between these two sentences is the comma, right? Is there a difference in meaning between these two sentences when we put commas in this relative clause? So this is the relative clause. My sister, who is from Chicago, you are giving more information about your sister, just like you're giving more information about your sister here. What is the difference in meaning between these two sentences? In this one, do I have one sister or do I have many sisters? Well, in this case, this actually means that I have many sisters, and you are referring to, or I am referring to, the one who is from Chicago. My sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. Okay? So this is called an identifying clause. Okay? In some grammar books, in some writing books, this will also be called a restrictive clause. Okay? So it all means the same thing. It's just a different way of calling it identifying or restrictive. Okay, the reason we call this an identifying clause is because it identifies the subject. So my sister is the subject. I am giving more information about my sister, and I am saying, well, my sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. So this is actually the complete subject. Okay? In this case, do I have one sister or do I have more than one sister? My sister, comma, who is from Chicago, comma, visited me last weekend. In this situation, I only have one sister. The reason we have who is from Chicago, well, there is no reason. We don't have to put this in this sentence for this sentence to make sense. You could say, my sister visited me last weekend, and the meaning would be the same. So this is just extra information, okay? So this is an identifying clause. This is a non-identifying clause. Okay, so just to review what we've done so far, we have my sister who is from Chicago visited me last weekend. I am providing direct information about which sister I'm talking about. This is the complete subject. My sister who is from Chicago identifies which sister I'm talking about. I have more than one sister. I am talking about the one from Chicago. In this case, I said my sister, and I'm giving more information. So this is a non-identifying clause. This is not essential information. It's extra information about my sister, my one sister, right? And I'm putting it in between the full sentence here. My sister visited me last weekend, but I want to give you more information about my sister. So I put comma, use a non-identifying clause, who is from Chicago, and complete the sentence with visited me last weekend. The commas are very important in non-identifying clauses. Okay, now let's look at the relative pronouns that we use with different types of relative clauses.